By now you have heard that the San Francisco 49ers just signed Deebo Samuel to a 5-year extension, a $92 million extension per Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. This is fantastic news. And that train, guys, the train has started slowly chugging along the tracks and is beginning to gain a head of steam. And I'm not talking about just Deebo. I'm talking about these boys, all of them. The 49ers are figuring things out right now, and I'm super excited to tell you by the end of this video, like, stick around to the end because things are falling into place. I truly believe we're just a couple of minor tweaks away from greatness. If you're new here, I'm Nate. Love talking about the 49ers. Please consider a like and sub if you haven't yet. I do very much appreciate it. Seriously, genuinely, I say that. I mean it. I don't just say it because it's the thing that I say. The 49ers, guys, everybody has the 49ers closing in on top as a top 10 team right now. Okay, you've got everybody is either keeping them close to top 10 or they're moving up multiple spots to get closer to top 10 right now. And why are they putting them top 10 in their power rankings, or close to top 10 in their power rankings? Because they're seeing things come together. Because Christian McCaffrey's out there, and even though Christian McCaffrey did not completely change the game plan, and even though he didn't run for crazy numbers of yards, there's some weight behind it, and people are seeing what's happening. Guys are getting healthy, and they're coming back. The playoff picture, guys, is looking even better from multiple fronts. The 49ers go and then sign Deebo Samuel, who's been by far and away, I think, the most consistent player on defense this season. Fred Warner's been great, but he's picked up a little injuries here and there with his ankle, and so he hasn't always been at full fitness level. Deebo Samuel has just been outstanding, and we saw this coming in the offseason. I could go on and on. You know what? I'm going to probably have to do another video on Deebo Samuel just itself. But the playoff picture, guys, from many fronts. Greenlaw is coming back. CMC, he's going to find his rhythm. He looked good. He's about to look great. It's going to happen. Rookies are outrageous right now. Huge value to this football team. Promising for the future. The 49ers have their new X guy in Juwan Jennings until Brandon Aiyuk gets back healthy, which is not going to be this season. And he's still instilled a ton of confidence in this decision for Kyle Shanahan, who is spoke very highly, let's just put it that way, of Juwan Jennings. The 49ers are littered with top 10 talent. And what does this tell you? We are a couple key. Let's just look at it. Look at this one right here. This tweet here from John Chapman. Okay. 49ers ranked top 10 by their position according to PFF. This is just PFFs, okay? There's lots of rankings out there. Let's just look at PFFs. Widely regarded as the most respected rankings for individual player stats. Fred Warner's first, George Kittle's first, Kyle Juszczyk's second, although not that many fullbacks out there. Ronaldo Green's third, Trent Williams is fourth, Nick Bosa's fifth, Juwan Jennings is sixth, Brock Purdy is eighth, Dominic Puni is ninth. These are the PFF rankings for current 49ers players who are top 10 by their position group. And what does that tell you? We're a couple key fixes away. And I'll be honest with you, like maybe one or two key fixes in all three phases, but we're just a couple tweaks away from this team hitting a very big run. Okay, I would love to predict with confidence it's going to happen. I need to see some things happen first, but I feel like it's coming together. I just feel that way. Now, you look at the playoff picture, okay? The 49ers' ugly win this weekend, winning when it's difficult, was incredibly valuable because the 49ers are sitting just behind the Packers, and they're going to have an opportunity to right that relationship with the Packers when they beat them in a couple weeks. Speaking of that, let's take a quick look. So here's how I see it, okay? The games that are kind of off red or pink are games that already happened. This is the projection in my mind the 49ers have to do if they want to make the playoffs. Or this would at least guarantee them the playoffs, right? So 11-win season is going to get you there, I think. Seattle Seahawks, you have to win that because it's a division game, and you've already lost 2 of your division games. You have to win that game, okay? So you beat the Seahawks at home. You have the Green Bay Packers, so you go to Green Bay, and you're playing at Lambeau Field. That's a must-win game from a conference point of view, in my mind. It's not literally a must-win game, but I feel like between the Packers and the Bills, if you lose one of those two, you can survive. And I would much rather count on them beating the Packers than beating the Bills. That's just a tough team right now. They're a tough team. Then you got the Bears You better win that game, no matter how many offensive coordinator changes they make. You better win that game. The Rams at home, you need redemption. You're going to win that game. Miami Dolphins, that's going to be one that no one exactly knows what Miami Dolphins you're going to be facing by the time you get there in that part of the season. But you're hoping that's a win. If you want to get to an 11-win season, you kind of need that to be a win because you're going at home, but you're going up against the Detroit Lions the following week, which in my mind is a game that you have to try and win, but you would understand if it's a scheduled loss. That's a tough game, okay? They look like the best team in the NFC right now. It's kind of hard to argue apart from that. Even when they throw 5 picks in one game, they still find a way to win. Arizona Cardinals, I already told you, you have to win these games. I think you need to win out in your division because you need that little bit of help there. If you end up with a tie, you need that tiebreaker. So you beat the Cardinals, you beat the Rams, you beat the Seahawks, and all of a sudden, now it's not the end of the world if you tie up with the Arizona Cardinals, right? But moving on, I love New York Times finally did this. New York Times did the playoff predictor. I love when they do this. So I've been messing with this today and then undoing all of the changes. So here's just what I suggested, right? So you win here, you win here, you lose here, you win here, you win here, you win here, you lose here, you win here. That's a greater than 99% chance of making the playoffs. There's still less than 1% chance you make the bye week because of those early losses. And you got, anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is 99% chance of making the playoffs. I went through this. I went through all of Arizona Cardinals' schedule, which is pretty stinking incredible. They're very fortunate. The Arizona Cardinals, they're going to have an easy run to the playoffs, and the 49ers need to make sure that they are in a really good position to take the wild card. You don't want to be in a wild card race with anything less than 11 wins. So that's why, in my mind, the path to victory is 11 wins or bust. If you're not getting 11 wins, then you're just hoping that teams go out there and lay eggs, and you don't want that situation. Does this seem reasonable? Can the 49ers beat the Seahawks? Absolutely. Can the 49ers beat the Packers? Yes, they can. Can the 49ers beat the Bills? They can, but you would understand if they didn't. Can the 49ers beat the Bears? Yes. Rams? Yes. Dolphins? Yes. Most likely 100% yes. You don't know what Dolphins are going to be facing by the time that comes there and what their offense is going to look like, but yes, I believe the Dolphins are very beatable. We even saw that this weekend. Then the 49ers against the Lions, you could say that's a toss-up. Bills is a toss-up, whatever. And you could even throw in Packers in there if you want as like maybe a toss-up or whatever. I think if you win these games right here, we're happy. We made it to 11 wins. That seems a path to success. If you lose one of these games, it changes your chance of making the playoffs to 80%. Now, this runs on a bunch of different simulations. You've never seen this before, so you can run this over and over, and you're going to get slightly different numbers, but in general, this is where you're looking at. You lose a game to, let's say, if you lose a division game, here's what happens to your score. 11%. Now, that's because you're a 9-win team, and you're also losing to a division opponent. So anyway, play with this, have some fun with it. As far as I'm concerned, I think that things are setting up nicely for the 49ers. I think that they're going to see the Seahawks and the Packers as must-win games. And they're going to, I think we're going to see a different team. Now, it's going to be interesting to play the Seahawks because I think DK Metcalf's going to have a lot to prove. And I don't know if you can keep him in your pocket forever. But, we'll see what happens. I haven't even paid attention to what's going on. I need to do some research. I know they won one game and they lost 2 games. I don't even know which guys on their team are healthy. So, we'll have to take a look at them on a deeper level. But listen, guys, this was I forgot about this. I'm sorry. I meant to share this yesterday in the video. Brock Purdy went blitzed by Tampa Bay. 18 for 22 when blitzed. That's incredible. 18 for 22. One of those 4 incompletions was a drop. 274 yards, 15 first downs, 2 touchdowns. Wow, I didn't realize so many of those first downs came on blitz plays. That's interesting. 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 148.9 passer rating when blitzed. That is a huge. The 49ers didn't, like earlier this season, they didn't look like they had an answer to the blitz. So that's fantastic. Love to see that. Great point there that I completely forgot to get to. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, okay, the 49ers are setting things up for the long-term future. We're going to probably have to do a video on that tomorrow about breaking down further the Diameter of the North stuff because this is a huge move. Huge move by the 49ers. Massive statement. But we also, just looking at how things are shaping up and players that are coming in getting valuable, Greenlaw coming back, CMC, he's going to continue to get better and find his rhythm. There's a lot of good things setting up for the 49ers here. They've got some weapons. Juwan Jennings is going out there in Brandon Aiyuk's spot and is playing really, really well. Ricky Pearsall's going out there in Juwan Jennings' spot, playing really, really well. So there's a lot of things to be excited about. There's a lot of positivity right now in my mind about where the 49ers are going. And no, they're not perfect. They've got some problems they need to solve, but the special teams problems seem like easy problems to solve in my head. Now, the missing kicks, that's not necessarily an easy problem to fix. That's a kicker issue that you gotta hopefully gets resolved. But he's overall been a decent kicker, so I'm hoping that's going to be just a small problem. And then most of the other stuff is just like know your job, stick to your assignment, and follow your rules. If you do that, you know your job, you stick to your assignment, you follow your rules, things generally work out okay. You don't get yourself into positions where a defender can push you, even following the rules, into your own player, force a fumble. That kind of stuff just can't happen. It just cannot happen. You're better off if everybody just moves out of the way and lets the ball fall, and whatever, if you get pinned inside the 5, you're still way better than that running that risk of that situation. So listen, I'm excited about it. I'm feeling really optimistic about where things are going. I think the 49ers know that this Seattle Seahawks game is going to be massive, and it's at home, and you already beat them on their own turf, and they're going to be angry, and they're going to be, coming in there trying to turn their season around and try and find a way, trying to find some kind of path to the playoffs. So they're definitely in desperation mode, but the 49ers know this. They know that every team is going out there to prove against them, so they're not getting anybody's easiest game. That's just the way that it goes, and they're ready for that. They're accepting it, and I'm excited for it because you know what? This is the stretch that matters. This is a really fun time of the season. There's a lot of great games this weekend, so I'm fired up. I'm excited. I hope you are too. What a time to be alive.